Welcome to our Animation Resources live stream. This one is another Ref Pack review. I'm Davey, Jarrell. I'm a storyboard artist in TV animation, and I serve as Director of Programming at Animation Resources. And I've got a guest with me today. He's the Director of Publications at Animation Resources and runs the tech for our live streams. David Eisman.
Hi, Davey. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here and running this as always.
Yep, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
So right now we are in the middle of Membership Appreciation Month. I'm going to tell you all about that and our current reference pack, but first I'm going to quickly tell you a little bit about what Animation Resources is. Animation Resources is a 501c3 nonprofit that specializes in art curation. We preserve art from the past so it can be used to inform art of the future. And we provide context for everything we share. The history behind it, information about the artists who created it, and how the ideas can be applied to your own work. If you're not already, I highly encourage you to become a member of Animation Resources. Paying members get access to a new reference pack every other month. Reference packs include rare animated films and ebooks, filled with cartooning and illustration, all work you'd probably never otherwise see. You can sign up right now at animationresources.org/membership. One more time, that's animationresources.org/membership. All right, now for a couple big announcements. So, it's membership appreciation time at Animation Resources. Every year in February, we take the time to honor our members that make what we do at Animation Resources possible. And to show you our thanks, we want to give back to our members as much as possible. That's why right now we have a very special offer. Normally, a student membership costs $70 for a year, and the regular membership is $95 for a year. But right now, you can be a member of Animation Resources for $1. That's right. $1. We're calling this our Dollar Days promotion. Anytime between now and early March, for one whole week, you get access to our current members-only reference pack. As long as you download everything in the reference pack during that week, you will have this material for the rest of your life. And this isn't any normal reference pack. This one features highlights from our first 50 reference packs and some amazing new stuff, like a 2-hour-long acting for animation seminar that I did with our president, Stephen Worth. There's no reason not to stop watching this stream right now and sign up. It's so much stuff for only $1. And you can always cancel your membership when the week is up, but after seeing this reference pack, we think you'll want to continue your membership. Go to animationresources.org/dollardays to sign up. One more time, animationresources.org/dollardays. I have one other big announcement. As I mentioned, Steve Worth and I produced a 2-hour-long video that covers the topic of acting for animation. We talk about different acting techniques and what constitutes good acting and show examples in both animation and live action. So mark your calendars. We'll be streaming this video followed by a Q&A in our Discord events channel on Sunday, February 25th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Doors open at 4 p.m., the stream starts at 4:30 p.m., and directly following the stream at 6:30 p.m., Steve and I will do a Q&A. This is definitely one of the most important things Animation Resources has ever produced, so I highly recommend you join us at this event. All right, now let's take a look at the new reference pack. This is reference pack number 56, and it's by far the biggest and best one we've ever had. It features the Acting for Animation seminar I mentioned, a reel and an ebook of the best of reference packs 1 through 50, cartoons from Italy, Germany, Russia, and Japan, a collection of films by the Lumiere brothers, who were manufacturers of photographic equipment and innovators in the earliest days of filmmaking, curated breakdowns of animated filming techniques, and a bonus archive. I'll start off with telling you a little bit more about this Acting for Animation seminar. I first saw Steve do a seminar on acting for animation at a college back in 2017, and I thought it was amazing. Now we finally have a version on video so everyone can see it. Animators have been referred to as actors with a pencil, but most classes in animation and articles on technique deal more with the pencil mileage than the acting. So in this special 2-hour episode of Animated Discussions, we set out to change that. What is acting anyway? What constitutes good acting? Is acting the same in live action as it is in animation? How does an animator put across personality and action through acting? So this video addresses those questions and many more, and shows clips from movies and cartoons to illustrate our points. So next we have the best of reference pack 1 through 50, both an ebook and a video. So this ebook is provided to the general public to give prospective members an idea of what they'll receive if they join. It has over 500 pages, and these books will give you an idea of the breadth of material animation resources have shared over the years. So let's run through some of these highlights.
All right.
Yeah. So this is great cartoony stuff. All the funny folks.
Great silhouette on those horses, and the contrast between the one with its legs tucked in and the one where its legs are straight out.
Mm-hmm. It's a very dynamic pose too, and a good line of action.
Great use of space, because there's a lot happening here. Like, you've got this guy mostly in the air, where he's lower. It's very well done.
Some very old stuff.
I always like the crosshatch shade style of these old these are prints, right? So
yeah.
They would do them in stone or wood block.
Wood block.
Wood block. This is great. Great faces, expressions.
These are great. I mean, so much, even in monochromatic, there's just a lot of there's a lot of depth in the shading.
The shading is doing so much work that it almost looks like it's in color.
I love this ebook.
Which rough pack was this from?
Oh, I don't remember. This is just going to be an amalgamation of 50 rough packs right here.
Ooh, these are great. The mileage you get with those big lines.
Yeah. Really great silhouettes on their head shapes.
The expression here, the way it's like, it's wrapped so nicely. These features.
Some really nice shapes and colors there.
Nice textures in the backgrounds.
Oh, the sports cartoons might be my favorite.
These are amazing. These are the ones that I did for the Goofy Sibley comparison, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the shakiness in the lines. Like, this is kind of like, the line here is kind of nuts. Almost kind of ridiculous, but it works.
There's just so much energy in them. This is some really nice line work too. Totally different style.
Very, very different style. Much simpler. But still, complex interior line work, like here. And here.
And very clear designs.
It's like the one before was more complex exterior lines, but this next one is much more complex interior line work, whereas the exterior lines are quite simple.
Yeah, that's a good observation. The Zimmerman course, gotta get that.
I'm blown away by the interior line work on the folds, because this is a difficult thing to draw. This I
To
really
get
like
that to read so simply.
Yeah, it reads so simply. I'm really digging this line in particular. Nice.
Some more fun, cartoony newsprint stuff.
Never can go wrong with it. Very simple composite. Very simple layouts. Although for here, this is kind of a complex one.
It's very fun.
I like how it's structured along this line.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
This is very different than anything else we've seen here.
like 19th century illustrated books, story, Rackham style. Hyper composed, hyper detailed.
Yeah.
Very different again.
Yep.
The energy on this guy's pose, shooting out of his shoes. Some nightmare material going on right here.
It's funny too.
Very funny.
Simple just does often equal funny.
Oh,
I look at that pose of the guy like smashing.
I think this is Plastic Man from the DC.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
This is Plastic
You're right.
Man.
Yeah,
Why is he in this?
I don't remember.
Huh. Alright. Love the silo here and the shading on there. Shows him cast in shadow.
Really cool shading in this.
Excellent shading. Like a crosshatch style. Little steeples. Like here and here. Like almost pointillist a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Simplicissimus ebook is great.
Again, back to that cross-hatching, steepling, pointillism, the shading style.
The propaganda stuff.
I love propaganda artwork.
Yeah. It's a lot of passion behind it.
It's tons and tons of passion. And also they have to work within the limits of their own, to a system. Especially even North Korean and Russian hyper-realistic art, the glory for the people stuff, because they, even though they're working under the restraints, they can make some really interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
More this pinup.
Mm-hmm.
Love the shoes. Very interesting texture.
Great, interesting hair.
Very
great pose.
Kind of lopsided. Great line work.
Yeah.
Really well wrapped. Wonky perspective.
Ego. Yeah. Very, very clear and concise.
Love the eye line from here to here to here, because his eyes are pointed up here, so it makes like a triangle.
Yeah, the three of them make a triangle.
Nice composition.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then there's the Hokusai's manga.
Oh,
yeah.
Hokusai, dude. Such amazing work.
This and the sports drawings are my favorite. The Hokusai sketchbook are my favorite ebooks.
Mm-hmm.
The Zimmerman course is pretty cool too.
Look at the silhouette on this.
So just observational sketches. They're perfect.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Damier.
Damier.
This was a great ebook.
Mm-hmm. I think I scanned a few of these. I'm not mistaken. Ooh, great compositions.
Mm-hmm.
Line of action here. Punching is so hard to get right.
I know. I've never done it well.
Huh.
I don't remember which one this is from. It's very different though.
It's definitely a political cartoon of some kind. Got Egypt, a British lion, Al Mahdi. I don't know who that is. French
Or those
warfare.
war cartoons.
Mhm.
Those are always really good.
Woodblock. Very different than the woodblock we saw before in the like Western style manuscripts.
Yeah. These Eastern woodblock prints from this era are incredible. Just the detail and the layering.
Very nice.
The Pinocchio.
Did you see
storyboards.
the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio?
I did. Yeah, it was great.
It was really good. I saw the exhibit they did at the MoMA where they showed all the puppets and backgrounds.
Oh, you got to actually see them
I did.
live? Oh.
They put them in like an exhibit. This.
Your favorite.
I love these.
The Grinch bar sheets.
I can actually read these now. When I first saw them, I was like, this is incomprehensible.
My first rough pack that I did.
That must have been crazy.
Yeah. It was still the most difficult one.
I'm sure. I first learned how to time from reading these.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's it.
Cool. We'll be right back to our podcast in a couple minutes, but first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Animation Resources. Animation Resources serves as the perfect bridge between being a student and being a professional. Here's how it helped me when I was a student. I first discovered Animation Resources when I was studying animation at USC. I thought I knew all about what it took to be a professional animator. I mean, I was getting good grades. That was enough, right? Well, when I first met Stephen Worth, he pointed out to me the obvious error in my train of thought, that most animation students are not industry ready when they graduate, despite how well they do in school. Now, I learned a lot in school, but it definitely doesn't teach you everything you need to know to be a professional. So here's how Animation Resources bridged the gap from being a student to being a professional. In school, I learned the mechanics of animation and drawing. I learned how to use some programs. But the part that was missing was how to be creative. Now, being creative, or learning to think like an artist, is the key to longevity in animation. Art styles come and go, the programs we use are always changing, but the need to be creative is constant. Animation Resources gave me a much broader frame of reference and showed me just how important that it is to keep growing as an artist. Now I'm a professional, and Animation Resources is still useful to me as a professional. I work primarily as a storyboard artist in TV animation. I've worked on Teen Titans Go, The Patrick Star Show, Monster High, Baby Shark's Big Show, Dinosaur Train, and many others. And Animation Resources is still informing me and helping me to be more creative in my work. As a professional artist, you really can't stand still. You have to be constantly learning and growing to remain competitive and to be able to handle new challenges. Animation Resources reference packs are full of new ideas and inspiration, material that I didn't know existed. It's all stuff you need to know about that you didn't even know you needed. Every time I open a reference pack, I'm introduced to a whole new world. I archive them on a hard drive on my computer and use them as a reference library. When I come across something at work that I'm not quite sure how to approach, I'll think of something I saw months previous in a reference pack and I'll refer back to it, and it'll give me new ideas on how to move forward. This isn't just material that's useful for a month or two. This is a reference library that I'm building that I will use for the rest of my life. So here are the benefits of membership for Animation Resources. Every other month, you will receive access to a brand new downloadable reference pack. Here's what's in a reference pack. Informative articles on animation history and technique, like how Chuck Jones and the Golden Age animators used musical timing on bar sheets, the influence of sports cartoonist Leo Amelia, and the history of the 53 stations of the Tokaido Road. You also get high-resolution ebooks on cartooning, animation, and illustration. These include drawing courses like the one by Eugene Zimmerman and treasures of Japanese cartooning like Hokusai's manga. You also get rare animated feature films from China, Russia, and Japan, rarely seen industrial films by John Sutherland Studios, silent films, documentaries on filmmaking, and a podcast series called Animated Discussions. Podcast episodes cover a variety of subjects like how animators can learn from live action and the history of cartooning in both the East and the West. And it features interviews with well-known professionals like Craig Bartlett and Joe Murray. So, here's how to use these reference packs. When a lot of people first look at the content of a reference pack, they don't know what to think. It looks so far removed from anything they do or understand that they don't see how it's relevant. If it's not Chuck Jones or Milt Kahl or Miyazaki, they don't know what to do with it. But the fact that it looks new or different, that it's something they've never seen before, is exactly the point. Just because you can't find an immediate practical purpose for this material doesn't mean it isn't useful. The material is meant to be taken in slowly over time. Our goal is to share material with you that you didn't already know about. I know it's more comfortable to look at things you're already familiar with so you feel like you have a grasp on the subject, but creativity is an uncomfortable process. You have to think outside the box and push yourself to do things you've never done before. If you don't, you run the risk of sliding back into formulas. Learning to be creative is no different. You have to forcibly break old habits, open your eyes to the world, and glean inspiration from new sources. The broader your frame of reference, the wider your creative scope. New things should really excite you because they encourage new ways of thinking and inspire new things you can create. So, the purpose of these reference packs is not to go through them once and never look at them again. There's way too much to take in at once. They're meant to be stored on a hard drive so you can refer back to them as needed throughout your artistic career. So, there are 3 levels for an Animation Resources membership. The general membership, which is only $95 per year. Then there's the student membership, which is for students and full-time educators, and that's only $70 per year. And the third membership level is the quarterly membership, where you're billed just $30 every 3 months. And that's not all. For both the student and general membership, with every new reference pack, you also receive a bonus reference pack, which is a rerun of an old reference pack. This means you get double the amount of reference packs. 12 instead of just 6. And for the quarterly membership, you get access to everything except the bonus reference pack. So if you're not sure about committing to an annual membership, it's a good place to start out to see what you think. After looking at a couple reference packs, though, I think you'll see that the general membership will be well worth it, and we'll be happy to upgrade your membership anytime. What's really unique about Animation Resources is that it curates for you. All the content we provide is handpicked by our outstanding advisory board. Ralph Bakshi, Sherm Cohen, Steve Stanchfield, JJ Settlemeyer, and other seasoned pros. They've shared material from their personal reference libraries, things they have found useful throughout their careers, and it's all expertly curated by Stephen Worth and our board. We sort through all the material and present it organized in a way that you can absorb it and use it in your own creative work. I mean, just look at this podcast. Can you think of anywhere else where you can find information organized for you like this? All of our content is specifically targeted at animators, cartoonists, and illustrators like you. And the best part is you'll be supporting a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is run by artists for artists. I don't know how long it would have taken me to get my first job without this organization. You can join right now at animationresources.org/membership. Again, that's animationresources.org/membership. If you're a creative person, you should definitely be a member of Animation Resources. So this video features highlights from all the videos from the first 50 reference packs. And it contains clips from all types of films, century-old silent shorts, stop-motion puppet films, animation from China, Poland, Japan, Russia, animated commercials from the early 50s, classic theatrical cartoons, experimental animation, and rare industrial training films. It's got everything. And this pair of reels here runs over 2.5 hours. So We only share them on special occasions to give prospective members an idea of what they'll receive when they join. So you'll want to download these while you can, because it's a limited time. Next is a cartoon from Italy from 1968 called My Brother Superman. And the film features two superheroes, Super VIP, who's a strong man who's irresistible to women, and Mini VIP, who's a small and ineffective not-so-superhero. So the villain of the story, Happy Betty, is a lady industrialist who has her eye on ruling the world. The whole thing is a satirical jab at American exploitation of cheap labor in third world countries. And next we have two old commercials from Germany. The first one here is Son of the House from 1932, and then the next one is going to be Song of the Mill from 1934.
All right, we got to talk over this clip. Ooh. Very nice effects work.
Yeah. It's got a little more even timing, I've noticed, than like the narrative. But they've got a different intention.
Well, even isn't necessarily bad timing. It's all about like what you're intending to do.
Right.
Nice zoom.
Yeah, very even timing, but this was also just more of that Fleischer style timing rather than Disney. So yeah, this is Song of the Mill from 1934, Germany.
I always liked German animation.
So, next we have a cartoon from Russia from 1991 called Wolfgang the Intrepid. It opens with this really impressive multi-layer pan, and the style of movement perfectly matches the design of the characters. The anatomy of the main character is divided into segments that separate from each other, but the movement is always handled as one unit. So even though this isn't built from an object library, Flash animators interested in making their animation less stiff can definitely learn a lot from this film if they study it.
This is amazing.
It's an amazing pan, isn't it?
That's one of the best pans I've ever seen. That might be the best pan. Whoa. Was this hand-drawn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. Next is, these are going to be two cartoons from Japan from 1967. Episode 8 and Episode 12 of the series Gaboten Island. So the story begins when Ryuta and his sister Tomato sneak on board a submarine docked at an amusement park. And the amusement park's son, Iago, and his friends enter the submarine and get in a fight with Ryuta. When they're fighting, a switch is flipped and the submarine heads out to sea. A storm hits and the kids are unable to steer it and end up shipwrecked on an island in the South Pacific. Ryuta and Tomato befriend a bird and a gorilla, and together the whole group struggles both with each other and with nature for survival. So, really fun premise. Oh, this is cool. This is a documentary from 2016 called Lumiere, which consists of a collection of films by the Lumiere brothers, who were manufacturers of photographic equipment and innovators in the earliest days of filmmaking. So on March 22nd, 1895, the Lumiere brothers made the very first moving picture in Paris, a 40-second film titled Workers Leaving the Lumiere Factory. Audiences loved it, and between 1895 and 1905, they made over 1,400 short films. The Lumiere brothers' films, as you can see, are very basic. There's no editing. The camera's in a fixed position. It doesn't zoom or truck or pan. There's no narrative. They're just designed to capture a moment. And the films fall into two categories. Recognizable imagery, like everyday scenes on the street and children playing with their parents, and remarkable imagery, like exotic locations and dramatic industrial scenes. What's really interesting is that at this time, people weren't aware of what a movie camera was, so people just walked right by without acknowledging it. So they go along in a just totally natural way, which is why it looks so spontaneous. So that's really cool. And finally, we've got an analysis of pickups in animation, and this analysis was done by David Eisman, so take it away.
All right, I'll play the video first, and then
Great.
I'll bring it up on my Premiere, and we can go through it frame by frame and talk about it.
Cool. Clip from Invincible.
Mm-hmm. Some modern animation for once.
Yeah.
Very long pan.
Yeah, kind of like that other cartoon we watched.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Liz, we can talk about each of these individually. So this is the first of a number of articles I'm going to write entitled Pickups. So it's just be like addendum articles where I break down different clips from detailing themes that I've talked about in the past. And these are things that I found later on that I thought could provide context. So this first one is an addendum to the hair and fur simulation. In specific, that you don't always have to do hair and fur. It's perfectly acceptable to not do any interior or exterior line work to keep the silhouette clean and still create the illusion of fur by doing several things at once. The first is these spots on his back, in addition to the context of his shape telling us he's a dog, which leads our brain to more readily accept that he's a dog, even though there's no drawn fur to be seen. Like if he was in an entirely different shape, like a lizard, and also we wouldn't expect him to have fur, and therefore you wouldn't acknowledge that he had fur without the drawn fur. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that the reason why they probably didn't do fur for this one is the complex exterior line work on this beard that's created from the food paste that he's eating. I don't know what he's eating. It would be not as funny as a gag if there was complex exterior and interior line work on the dog, because then there wouldn't be any contrast between his silhouette and the silhouette of the beard, and it would all just look even. This next one is for perspective turns and camera moves. So this is a behind the back truck. And the thing about behind the back and over the shoulder trucks is that you can't do a multi-plane truck or a multi-plane zoom because there's too many individual planes that need to turn while you're moving along the z-axis. If you were to do a multi-plane truck, all they would be able to do is just get bigger and move away from screen. To do a over the shoulder or behind the back truck, and you have to treat it like a manual truck. So you have to do planar rotation. But one of the ways you can save yourself a lot of time and hassle is by making your backgrounds very simple. So the background simplicity on this canyon is helping the animator a lot when rotating because they don't have to do as much work. This third one is from the show Invincible. It's an example of an effect that Steve calls a vertigo slide, but I've seen other people call it a truck zoom, where you do a truck and a zoom at the same time, and it creates.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's the Hitchcock thing.
Yeah, this like claustrophobic tunnel effect. You
Yeah,
don't see it a lot in animation because you usually have to do it manually.
yeah.
We'll watch this.
Mm.
Yeah, so the music helps too. But what they're actually doing is they're only actually deforming a few things. They're deforming the top of the head and the hair. They're shrinking it. They're deforming the line work here and here. And the line work here. But pay attention to the lower half of the face. Does not change. Neither does this. And then in the background, this is actually one still image. This whole thing is one still image that they're just deforming. And then the water is on a separate layer. See how it's one image? It even changes in resolution.
Mm-hmm.
It gets cleaner as it goes, as it gets large, as it gets smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this next one is for resistance, inward and outward resistance, and how you can demonstrate how you can enforce that effect. So first we have outward resistance, which is any resistance that if you're going through a tunnel and the tunnel is small and you're trying to go out, that resistance that's keeping you inside is outward resistance. So in order to do that, you usually want to have slow in, slow out in a big overshoot. And then one of the things to help with even resistance is what he's doing with his finger here, which is even though Donald Duck has already disappeared, he's continuing with his motion of twisting his finger back and forth, which is creating the reinforcement that there's still difficulty in putting his finger inside his own finger, inside his gloved hand. This next one, second to last, is morphs. So this is an example of a staged morph, where every time Popeye hits Hercules, he staggers and then gets smaller, staggers, gets smaller, staggers, gets smaller, over and over again. I just thought it's a really nice use of timing. And then finally, the very long pan. So this is one background. These is actually two separate backgrounds. The first background here, and of course these are all on separate layers in the multiplane. So you have this very long background, but then here they do a background swap, right? Here.
Huh.
So this is actually two separate backgrounds because the first shot is just a very long background that they're moving right to left. And then they now have to do a new background where they go up and down. But the thing that drives me crazy, oh, damn it, sorry, is they didn't background match. They didn't color match it.
I still didn't notice when we were watching in real time. But yeah.
They look totally different.
That is,
It's really trippy.
they could have done that better.
I'm not sure why they didn't. They look very different.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason I chose this one, just because I was like, wow, that's like a really jarring once you realize.
Well, it shows.
You never notice it.
No. But it shows your point very clearly. That they swapped.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, those are my examples.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was cool to go back.
Yeah, to go back and I'll be doing more of them as I already stopped. All right. Next.
So, yeah, thank you so much. Hold, pause this.
Oh.
I'll just introduce it real quick. So finally, we've got the bonus archive. And the bonus archive now is a rerun of reference pack number 24. It contains... we're going to need the image backup in a second.
The image backup?
From the PDF, it's the final image in that.
This? The As I See?
Yeah. We'll have that up in a second.
All right.
Okay, so actually just go back to the two-shot of us, and then you can pull that up right after I finish that little
hold on.
paragraph. Okay, cool. So finally, we have the bonus archive. The bonus archive right now is a rerun of reference pack number 24. It contains an incredible book of illustrations called As I See, the Russian cartoon Cheburashka, and a film based on the music of Frank Zappa called Dental Hygiene Dilemma.
Sorry. Can we redo that?
Yeah.
It just restarted on me, so... Okay. Oh, damn it. Okay. So I've got that. Remove. Okay, let's go.
Cool, yeah. And finally, we have the bonus archive. The bonus archive right now is a rerun of reference pack number 24. It contains an incredible ebook of illustrations called As I See, the Russian cartoon Cheburashka, and a film based on the music of Frank Zappa called Dental Hygiene Dilemma. So, this is the cover for As I See, released in 1954, and it's a collection of Boris Artsybashev's personal art and illustration work by thematic content, psychology, machines, warfare, and fantasy. He's influenced by Salvador Dali's surrealism and Walt Disney's anthropomorphizing of objects, and his work clearly had a huge influence on illustrators like Wally Wood, Basil Wolverton, and Al Hirschfeld. So next is Cheburashka. It's a film made in Russia in 1971, featuring the children's character Cheburashka. The animation in this film is really good, and it's well worth still framing through to study how various personalities are put across through walk cycles and gestures and things like that. And the puppets limit the flexibility of facial expressions, but the animators more than make up through it by the way they move the characters. So the principles behind stop motion, hand-drawn, and CG are really all the same. It's about putting personalities across. And this last one is Dental Hygiene Dilemma, a film made in 1971 by director Tony Palmer and musician Frank Zappa, based on Zappa's music and the Mothers of Invention. So the film starts out pretending to be an educational film on dental hygiene, but it quickly becomes a case study in the psychological pressures and clashes of ego that we see all the time amongst touring rock bands. It utilized revolutionary editing techniques and avant-garde video effects. If you break down the animation, you'll see how he uses key drawings with almost no in-betweening, but you know, it isn't about the number of drawings or complexity of the drawings that make it good. It's the way the drawings are used to describe the motion, and even more importantly, how it's timed.
Well put.
So that is our current reference pack, and that is definitely the biggest one we've ever had. But we like to go all out for Membership Appreciation Month. So sign up now and you can download all of reference pack number 56 and the bonus archive. And a reminder, right now and for the next few weeks, you can become a member of Animation Resources and download all of this incredible material for only $1. Just go to animationresources.org/$days to sign up, and you will get access to everything a member has access to for one whole week. Also, mark your calendars for Sunday, February 25th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, when Steve Worth and I will be streaming our Acting for Animation seminar in Discord and doing a live Q&A. Sunday, February 25th. Doors open at 4 p.m. The stream starts at 4:30 p.m. and directly following the stream at 6:30 p.m., Steve and I will do a Q&A. Well, thank you so much for joining me, David. Thanks for making this run smoothly, as always.
Yep, great being here.
Also, thank you to everyone who's watching, and a huge special thanks to all of our members. Without you, none of this would be possible. Don't forget, if you're not already, I highly recommend becoming a member of Animation Resources. With the bi-monthly reference packs curated by our board, the bonus archive, and the podcasts, you will have a great start at building a personal library of reference material that will serve you for your entire artistic career. And it's a huge bargain. Normally, it's only $70 per year if you're a student or educator, and $95 per year for the general membership. But right now, you can also get a 1-week membership for only $1. You can sign up right now at animationresources.org/membership. One more time, that's animationresources.org/membership.